So does anyone know what this is all about?
No idea. I just got the email this morning.
I wish it wasn't Friday. Bad things always happen on Friday.
Well, the day I've had, it couldn't get much worse.
Thanks for coming in at short notice. I'll get straight to the point. According to last week's quarterly figures, we are the highest spending department with one of the lowest turnovers. And for that reason, I'm implementing 3 directives with immediate effect. Firstly, no overseas travel for the immediate future, with no exceptions.
Well, that won't work for a start.
Can I finish, please? Secondly, all contracts with external training suppliers will be terminated from April.
What? You are joking.
From the beginning of the new tax year, it'll be internal training only.
And what about when we don't have the skills in-house?
No, I'm coming to that. Human Resources will create a suite of computer-based seminars to meet those requirements.
Oh, please.
Finally, and regrettably, the away day has been cancelled. I hope we'll reinstate it next year. Any questions?
Yeah. Who decided all of this?
Well, I did. And trust me, if I hadn't acted, the Board of Investors would have demanded a lot worse.
Well, it doesn't feel like it.
Well, what about the Way Forward Committee? Well, don't they consider things like this?
No, they're more of a think tank. Look, we can sit and talk about this until we're blue in the face, but the bottom line doesn't change. We're living beyond our means, and I've acted to address that.
This is going to go down really badly with the teams.
Which is where you come in. As team leaders, I need you to cascade my decisions in the most favourable way possible. Any ideas? Which decision-making style was employed here? Do you think it was appropriate for the situation? Which decision-making style might have been more appropriate? The authoritarian style Amanda used certainly ensured that changes could be made quickly and decisively. However, the lack of consultation and an austere communication style could leave staff feeling ignored, demoralised and resistant. Because decisions were being made without group involvement, a better alternative strategy and an opportunity to get group buy-in could have been missed. Let's look at another decision-making style for this scenario and see how it might work differently. OK, we've all got the results for the last quarter in front of us, which, we agree, don't make happy reading. John is on the Way Forward Committee and they've made some key recommendations. You can find those on page 2.
Yes, the committee has made cost-saving recommendations across all areas, not just in food and drink. This is due to the low turnover during the last quarter, coupled with costs associated with our relocation. The committee felt that these savings would protect staffing levels within the organisation. That's why it's recommending them strongly.
Sure. Well, I wanted your feedback at an early stage.
Well, I'd like to know about my team's report training in May, which has to be external. Nobody has the skills in-house, so what's the alternative?
That's where the CBT suite comes in.
What is it? I thought CBT stood for Cognitive Behavioural Therapy.
Sorry, I'm not making myself clear enough. In this context, CBT stands for computer-based training, so online courses and webinars to cover any training that we can't deliver.
As effectively as a real-life trainer?
That's the idea.
Obviously, your feedback will be very important.
Can we talk about the overseas travel ban? Because this strikes me as completely unworkable for our European customers.
I take your point, but don't forget that our client meetings now take place on Skype or over the phone wherever possible.
But some of our overseas clients will expect face-to-face meetings with their account managers.
OK, I'll raise this one with the board and see if we can introduce some exceptions. Perhaps you could send me a list of the customers, Rosie.
No problem.
What decision-making style was employed for this version? Do you think it was more successful? A committee style of decision-making meant that John could provide explanations for the committee's recommendations. Both John and Amanda used distancing language to present this information diplomatically. For example, when Amanda said, "I wanted your feedback," and when John said, "the committee felt." In addition, John used conciliatory language to clarify a misunderstanding when he responded with, "Sorry, I'm not making myself clear enough." Also, Rosie used the inclusive pronoun in raising a concern with, "Can we talk about?" The committee style of decision-making may not be democratic in the strictest sense, and often takes longer to implement. It does, however, give the group a stake in the decision-making process, and usually means that decisions are properly considered and evidenced.